What are some of the mistakes you see people making in those areas?
Well, although promotion, in a sense, you may think it's about like you and your brand, I think you have to reframe. Like the biggest mistake I see is that people think that it's all about them, whether it's networking or like whatever service they're promoting, or if they're trying to expand an organization. You have to think like, what is the value it can bring to whoever you're targeting? And you really have to understand like your audience. Like it can't just be everyone, because then you're going to overwhelm yourself. And when I mean like really understanding audience, I mean, for example, like the easiest way to do it is collecting data online, or talking to your inner circle already. Like what types of people are already part of the organization? Um, and what are your core values? And like what do you want to show to maybe outsiders? And then understand like what value that brings. So if you're turning 100, what does that mean? Like what were your accomplishments and how does that affect other people? And really just honing in on like the values you want to bring and that insight, whatever it may be. Because at the end of the day, if no one's part of your organization now, there's a reason why they weren't. So how can you change their mindset to maybe care just a little bit to seek more information? Um, so always think like it's not about you, it's about who you're targeting. Second, I would say this is another huge mistake that I see like people doing all the time. And I know sometimes I want to do it because it's the easiest thing in our heads is sending a quick link, or like giving up on that value proposition, or like any additional information, description, or whatever, and just sending a link in a one word because you think, oh, I could mass send this out to everyone with no context. And biggest, the most important factor is to add that context and tie it into why you're even reaching out and getting personal with someone else. Because people can like, they know when something is like mass communicated to everyone, which yes, that seems like a lot of time, but it's worth it. But yeah, so I guess those two things are honestly my biggest pet peeves. And I know sometimes I feel like I want to do it too because it seems easier to send out like the same message to everyone, but it's kind of a detriment to you because you're not going to get the same engagement, you're not going to get the message, and then you're going to have to spin your wheels again and mass communicate the same message. That doesn't work. So yeah, I would say those are the two biggest mistakes. And also, last, um, thinking that every platform or channel, and this can be like outside of social media as well, that everywhere that you can communicate something has the same rules and the same people. I think you have to change it up based off of like the type of platform it is. If you understand what I'm saying, like, you know, for example, LinkedIn is my favorite platform in the whole world, but I find that people engage and I could reach more when I'm really being like vulnerable and sharing my entire process and like oversharing basically. Um, for whatever reason they love it as long as you could tie it into how that can help them with whatever they're doing. But that's going to be different than maybe how I communicate the same exact idea or podcast or service to like a Facebook group, because Facebook seems like it's more to the point. Like, people are there for a reason and you know what that reason is. So I guess those three things would be it if you had to walk away.